I use quite often public transportation, and when I use the trams, I wonder, yesterday there were not as many people as today. Is it because we have Tuesday today? Yesterday was Monday, because students had the difficulty getting up for the 8 a.m. lecture. So let's try to verify such type of claims, and we have a very cool data set, or data challenge, summarizing all the entries and exits of pretty much all the public transport means here in Zurich. And for example, we could answer the following questions. How many exits do we have for tram line 10 to stop Uni-Irchel at shortly before 8 a.m. such that the students have enough time to get into the 8:15 lecture? How many students at Uni-Irchel for tram 10? How many would exit for the number 9? And a similar question could be asked, for example, for the line 14 and for the line 7 at Milchburg. Simple question, extract information from the data set to answer questions. Another question that we might then ask, well, let's not look at one particular time, but let's look at the number of exits as a function of time. What type of patterns do we see? Do we see peak early in the morning, later in the evening, or do we see maybe something more like that? Do we have 3 peaks? Peak around lunchtime, etc. Well, this is for one particular stop, for one line. We can then start to aggregate for several stops that probably are representative of the population here at the campus Irchel. Or maybe we could look, how do those patterns differ between, say, stops frequented by students and those frequented by businessmen around Paradeplatz, for example. Well, this is for one particular day. What about if we look at the behavior over the course of a week? Here in blue now. Let's aggregate, say, the morning peak to one single number here. Here we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and here we have this 8 o'clock peak in the morning. How does this peak evolve over the workday? This is one typical pattern. Do we see a similar pattern for other representative stops as well, or not? We have only 1 week of data, so it's very hard to associate the pattern with, for example, the day of the week, or, for example, also to the weather. We don't know whether this peak here was because it was a Tuesday, Wednesday, or because the weather was very bad. But maybe we can separate these effects by using at different subpopulations, populations of students, population of people working in the banking business, or just the overall average of transported passengers, for example. As a next step, once we have performed this so-called exploratory data analysis, we can maybe move on to some statistical exercises here, where we actually do model the data according to a statistical model. A very simple statistical model is a linear regression, where I try to explain, say, some aggregate of the number of exits or transported passengers in terms of other observed variables. Maybe whether the weather was good or not. Maybe in terms of the weekday, or maybe also as a function of time, for example.